Hey everybody, it's J Mac and welcome back to Bigfoot Input. We are here for all of your paranormal needs. You know what's up. Let's see, what's to talk about today? It's Columbus Day. Nothing but nice comments this week. We got a lot of congratulations for reaching 2,500 subs. We're very excited about that, very proud of that. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Brian O says congratulations. I've been a happy member for a few months now. I enjoy the weirdness. Yeah, we appreciate you, Brian. Thank you. Let's see, today we're going to do something that we haven't done in a while. We're going to do I don't know if you want to call them ghosts, apparitions, spirits, whatever you want to call it. We're going to look at some pictures, questionable pictures, and see what we can come up with. You know, and whether you believe in ghosts or not, that's the question, right? And it doesn't matter if you believe that they are your dead relatives or you believe there's some sort of energy left over from some other dimension or whatever it is you believe, because, you know, who knows? If you don't believe in ghosts, and you think it's all just bunk and whatever, then there's nothing here that I'm going to say that's going to change your mind. Okay? That's not what I'm here for. So we're going to go through some pictures. We're going to look at it. We're going to have a cold drink. And we're going to have fun. So let's take a look at these pictures and see what we have to say about them, huh? All right. First up. So a lot of these I haven't had the chance to actually look at them ahead of time, so I'm like literally developing an opinion as we're looking at them. I don't know if that's some sort of like gumball machine or something in the back there on the right. This picture is hard to get a read on, but it looks like it might be either the inside or the outside of a window. I'm going for outside. And it's like double faceted. You have like this black blur on the outside there that's kind of translucent, but then in the window itself you have a very obvious face. Could be a boy or a girl. I'm gonna lean towards a boy looking out the window at you, and it's translucent. It's an interesting enough picture, but you know, I got no backstory. I would even love to see like a zoomed out version of it, but that's all we got, so I have to move on from there. As always, it's plausible, and you know, is it probable? Well, I don't know. This picture here is strange. You know, you could argue that the little person inside there is just a child, you know, looking through the screen, and I think you would get away with that argument, honestly. But there does seem to be a little bit of a translucent blurry quality. The blurry quality, I think, obviously could be added by the screen. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean on that and say it's just a child looking out the window. I think it's dark in there. I think that the screen is providing a blur. She's standing just far enough away from the screen to where the camera is catching the screen before it's catching her. So I'm going to say that that's just a regular picture. Okay. We got into a huge pissing match on one of the message boards about this picture in particular. So what do we see? Well, when we look at it pretty closely, obviously what you're going to see a face with an extremely, okay, let me just say this, a face with sharp features, wearing a hat, and it appears to have some sort of candle lit in front of it. I mean, I would almost say that this is kind of a stereotypical looking witch, but it could just be, you know, some woman wearing a hat. Now, here's the thing about it, though. It's really just made up of static energy. The picture itself, this is not a picture of a person. There's like no one in the picture. It's just energy. And, you know, if you want to call this a ghost, well, then be my guest. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that I don't think it's a human. Next. Okay. This picture, you know, this has me thrown a little bit. So this baby's getting baptized here. They're going to put a little water on its head so it doesn't sin or anything. But if you look over the shoulder of Dad there, you're going to see what appears to be a lady. And you really can only see head and shoulders, maybe. You know, if you want to. So this one here, we got a picture of a stairway discoloration of the wall, and I guess that, you know, I don't know where this is, but my intuition is telling me, due to the stairs and due to the architecture of the building through that glass up there, which could be a reflection, it doesn't look like the United States to me. And obviously I could be wrong about that, but this picture, all you were seeing here is a dark figure on the stairs. Could be a reflection, could be a ghost. I don't know. Really not a lot to see there, so we're going to move on. In motion, and the camera just sort of stuttered and didn't know what to do, and it seems like it picked up his feet, but not the rest of his body. I think that's just a guy. This is another one of those pictures where you're getting this sort of distorted energy that's, you know, in the shot itself. So, you know, are you taking a picture of something like, you know, I don't know, like a road cone, but it's just distorted enough to where it looks like something else? Well, maybe. Or maybe this is some sort of face looking at you. It almost looks like eyes, nose, mouth, and some really like swollen cheeks. And I can see a chin there. I don't know. It doesn't look real to me. So yeah, there's that. This is the Stanley Hotel, and I'm pretty sure that most of you are familiar with this. It was the outdoor shot of the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. This is where it was, and at the top of the stairwell, you're gonna see fairly clearly the I don't even know if this is like a servant, like some sort of, I don't know what her outfit is. I can barely tell, but it does look like a female to me, and it definitely looks like an apparition. So, and someone has very thoughtfully circled it for us. Thank you. So this one here, I left most of the words on there so you could read it. I guess this is Mary King's closed vault tour in Edinburgh, and it gives the date and everything, and it says that they didn't really notice till a few days later they had taken this picture with a digital camera, and there you go. Is obviously a little boy, possibly a girl, looking around, peeking around the wall there. It almost looks like it's wearing like choir robes maybe, and it has tapetum lucidum, so we can see the eye shine, which of course we all know humans do not have eye shine. So why does this little boy, well, assuming that this ghost of this group of ghost hunters here is telling the truth, then we would assume that this is not photoshopped in any way, and therefore we don't know why that little human has eye shine. He's something extraordinary. So there we go. And this one is the Marietta Museum of History in Marietta, Georgia. I've never been here, but I may have to try to go, actually. It's pretty cool. This is the woman in the long white dress, and apparently she shows up on camera quite a bit. and she's very vibrant, but you can quite easily make out the shape. So to me that's a really interesting photo, and I would call that legit. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here. It looks like some weird sort of blobby body thing going on. I don't know. I don't really like that picture. There's not much to go on there. And we probably should not have included it. Moving on. This picture is weird. This is like the screaming ghost photo, and the story is like there was a fatal car accident in 1984, Hyde Park in Minnesota, and there was these teenagers on the way to a rock concert. Typical story. They crashed whatever this car is. Looks like a Wagoneer. So it kind of fits the date, I guess. So over the top of the car, you've got this it's really strange. I'm going to give you guys a close-up to see what I'm seeing. First of all, start on your right-hand side. You're going to see hair and an ear and a neck and the side of a face. Then, as you move left, you're going to see that the entire profile changes from a front profile to a side profile, where you're seeing the hair and the nose and an open mouth, fairly large nose actually. Yeah, it's an interesting picture, and I don't have anything else to add other than I would say that it is plausible. Pretty impressive picture, actually. This one was taken in St. Augustine, not by myself, but I have taken some in St. Augustine. If I can dig those up, I'll show them to you guys one day. It appears to be a little girl in a dress, completely translucent, and, in the middle of the dark. This particular cemetery is in downtown St. Augustine, and it has a lot of activity, a lot of orbs, crazy things going on there. One of the things that was happening, I guess, for the longest time, the overhead light, the street light, kept going out and flickering, and they tried everything to fix it, as far as changing the dusk to dawn sensor, changing the bulb, changing the fixture, tracing the wiring, etc., etc. And from what I understand, to this day, they have never quite figured out why the light flickers, but it does. It's an interesting place. Love St. Augustine. If you've never been there, please go. I don't know what to say. Some sort of room with, there's a sign there. I have no chance of reading that sign, although it does look like there's a 1 on it. So I have no idea what this is, other than what we're seeing is a cloaked figure. You can kind of make out some sort of face there. Yeah, interesting enough. We'll call that plausible. That's all we can say about it. I'm gonna post all these. There's 4 of them, and I'm just gonna let you guys look at them. The only reason it's interesting is because these were being taken by a camera that was staying, that this person was having hauntings, big time hauntings, and so they set up a camera and they caught a lot of these different shots, and apparently there was some dead roommate story to go along with it. I don't recall, but the shots themselves, this really bright nothing, it's very bright, but there's no, it's bright for no good reason, and I think that's cool. I think this person was being legit, and it caught something really interesting. So looks like some sort of not a cave, but a mine shaft, and you have what almost looks like spider webs or something to that effect, some sort of mesh, and there is definitely a face staring back at you, and I mean, I guess we could talk about pareidolia, which I'm sure most of you already know what that is. But if you're a Bigfooter, you absolutely know what pareidolia is. But it's basically this thing that's left over in our brain. Was an evolutionary trait from our Neanderthal stage where we would be able to recognize face in the bush and avoid an ambush attack. And now this is why we see Jesus on toast, or something in the clouds, or we see faces. If you take a picture of a forest of trees and zoom in close enough, you can sit there and pick out like 10 different faces. And it's just because it's pareidolia. It's your brain putting 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 ears, all in this group. And I think it would be easy to dismiss this as pareidolia, but this is interesting. I mean, I don't think this is. Well, you guys tell me what you think. It's an interesting enough picture. By the way, someone was telling me that I should number my pictures. Like when I put them on the screen, when I talk about them, I should talk about them as a number. So then that way, if someone wants to, direct, I want to talk about this picture, I can say number 6 or number 7. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is type in the timestamp. When you go to make a comment, if you don't know this, type in the timestamp of the picture that you want to talk about. And when you click on that timestamp, it will take you right back to that section of the video, and then everyone will know what picture it is you're referring to. It's a little education for you in case you didn't know that. I'm going to let you read this while I take a sip of my drink. It's beer. So this is super cool to me. These people lost their pup, and now they think that he's back in some sort of ghostly form, and it's an impressive picture, extremely impressive, side by side. And I'm just gonna say that it's totally plausible to me. And if you believe that ghosts are a thing, then why not? Why wouldn't this be a thing? Why wouldn't that creature that you loved so much during its life and your life, why wouldn't its energy remain? So yeah, I'm just gonna say it's plausible and leave it at that. This picture is ridiculous. Okay, so go ahead and look over there on the left hand side, and you're gonna see this little ghostly girl taken amongst what appears to be recording equipment. This is fake, by the way, and I'm gonna touch back on that a little bit later. So let's continue forward, and then we'll come back to that. This picture here was taken in the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, London, and they claim this picture has never been tampered with, etc., etc. And this is the Tulip Staircase ghost. And I guess they've never quite figured out exactly how this picture was taken. So, yeah, pretty interesting picture. I think that's legit. This picture is, I don't know. This is ridiculous. Yeah, this is a face, kind of a side profile of a face in a window, and there's absolutely nothing to point to this being ghostly for any reason at all. I'm not sure how that picture even slipped in there. Okay, it's weird. This is one of those kind of weird orby style pictures, although this is not an orb. It's very much a more sophisticated than that. And again, I really appreciate that someone circled it, because I never could have found it without that black circle. But it's interesting, I would say that there's something there for sure. It's not like a bug or anything. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you could call this a lens flare. I think that's something paranormal, something supernatural. So it's an interesting picture. And of course, it's taken in a graveyard, so that always adds something to it. All right, this picture's cool. So I could be mistaken on this. I have no idea where this is. But if you look down that hallway, I think what you're going to find is a chain going across the hall. And my guess would be that's a chain telling the guests that they can't go there. That's a blocked off area, whatever. So I'm guessing this is some old historic house. Not to mention it's spotless. But I'm thinking, like Lizzie Borden's house or something to that effect. I've never been there, but I don't know. It's something. It's not just somebody's house. Anyway, so on the door going out of the room, you're going to see this like very grandpa looking character. I don't know. He almost wants to look like he's wearing suspenders, but that's the creases in the door. But his shirt kind of comes down like a V-neck with like a button. He's got like sort of white little tufts of hair. He's definitely an older guy, you can tell. And that's a really interesting picture. You can also see his right arm, which extends across. So yeah, that's a cool picture. I like that one. I would say something's there. This picture is like kind of creepy. So this is some ruins, island, on an island in County Galway, it says, and I guess they're abandoned or whatever. Galway, Ireland, and it says, it just kind of, she came out of these ruins, and this face just sort of showed up behind her as she was leaving, and it's fairly impressive. I mean, it's definitely a face. Wow, yeah, it's creepy. It's like looking over her shoulder to see. I don't know. It's weird. You rarely see a ghost picture in like color. They're always in like black and white, or like they're translucent or whatever. This is like a full-on apparition. It's interesting. Yeah, interesting. So let's say this one is the Fort Douglas Hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah. Reportedly shows a spirit in a straitjacket. They said this is from the Utah Ghost Investigation. Snapped the photo on the 3rd floor, and that was once the hospital's insane asylum. So pretty cool. I mean, it is what it is. You would have to take Utah Ghost Investigation's word that this was not tampered in any way or staged in any way, because it does seem like it would be an easy thing to stage given the quality of the picture, the quality of the camera, obviously, and the vagueness of the figure in the picture. I would think this would be extremely easy to stage if you were trying to sort of build a name for yourself and get some actual footage. But that's neither here nor there. So interesting photo. All right, guys, I think we've reached the end there. So what I'm going to do is I want to go back and I want to talk about a few of these pictures. The ghost girl beside the speakers. There was another one too. The thing in the robe. Even the ghost girl in St. Augustine, although that one I do believe because I've had my own experiences there. That's kind of personal, but maybe even Ghost Boy but although the only thing that sells the Ghost Boy with the shining eyes is that it was from an actual ghost group, and they give the details of where they took the picture and things like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a picture. I did this on purpose, so forgive me. This is a picture of my partner in crime, Q, and she's taking a picture down this hallway. I'm taking a picture of her taking a picture, and this is the Brushy Mountain, I don't know, the federal penitentiary It's very cool place. If you've never been there, it doubles as a distillery, which is very cool. They have a distillery out front, and then they have like a food court, and you can go and tour the prison, and you can do guided tours, self tours. They have a museum of all the old shanks and everything they found in there, and it only closed down in like 1991 or something like that, 1996 maybe. But it had been open since, like, the early 1800s, or I'm sorry, I think I just got that wrong, the late 1800s. But so it was a very old place, very old prison, and it has a lot of history. And so anyway, so she took this picture down the hall. There's nothing paranormal in this picture, although they do claim that there is paranormal activity in that prison, and I believe it. A friend of ours, Vinny Vineyard, who does all sorts of different things, he actually did a overnight ghost tour there, or actually an overnight ghost investigation there, and claimed that he smelled cigarette smoke, and they were trying to communicate. The guy that killed Martin Luther King was housed in that prison. What's his name? James Earl Ray. He was housed in that prison. They were supposedly communicating with him. So that was interesting in itself. And maybe I'll try to dig up the video on that. I'll post the link in the bio. But very cool stuff. So this is a neat place. And I'm sorry I've just kind of went off on a tangent, but it is a cool place, and we enjoyed our time in Tennessee. So what we did here, there's two different shots here I'm going to show you. The first shot you've been looking at, I'm going to show you a zoomed in version. You're going to see this little boy standing, which you may or may not have noticed there before. And then if you go to the second shot, I pushed him back a little bit to the very back of the picture because I think that's a little more realistic. So I did that on my phone in 10 seconds, So my point is that in this day and age with photographs, you have to be more and more diligent about what you accept as truth. If that's all I'm going to say about it. Okay, I've already sort of rambled enough, but just be careful and take a harder look at these pictures. You don't want to be caught up suffering from pareidolia or getting fooled by some ghost app. That's that sort of thing. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please, like, comment, share, subscribe, etc. Blah, blah, blah. We're very excited about reaching 2,500 subs. We appreciate that very much. And we will continue to put out videos. I know a lot of you are more cryptid fans, and obviously we have not put out our last cryptid video at all. There's a lot more videos in the works and coming. We work on this stuff every day. It's just a matter of squeezing it into our spare time. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for me. All right, thanks for listening. J Mac out.